What's up, guys, gals, and everyone else in between? Welcome to Get Blitzed, a show where I either speculate, rant, discuss different gaming or anime topics. This episode we'll be discussing about Sonic Forces and how Sonic Team could have actually made the game good. Before we get into that, I want to first apologize for how long it's been since I can actually get this thing out. I mean, before, like in my other video that we made, which was talking about Smash, if you want to see that, go check that one out. But before, I've always saying that I was trying to get this video out, but it's been set back because of various reasons. But for now, I can actually finally get this done. So I'll tell you guys how we can actually, well, it's too late to save it, but at least if Sonic Team, if you guys can like check out this video, I mean, this is like, I'm just a random person, but hey, other people have good ideas, and so far Sonic Forces was not a good idea. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Sonic Forces, as everyone knows, it's a game that split the community since Child Hedgehog and Sonic Lost World. I'll talk about those later. But for now, it's like, when that game was first announced, I was skeptical. When I first saw the first trailer, it looked dark, but it wasn't like Child the Hedgehog or Sonic the Hedgehog dark, but it was like dark with a good mix. So far, it looked good. It showed Sonic gripping his fist, and then he had like a serious expression, which we haven't seen in a long time. The Sonic colors, he had that stupid grin and that baldy nose hair bullshit. Then Sonic Boom came out, and God, that was awful. The show was great, but the game was awful. And then we had Sonic Lost World, where the coolest character there was Eggman. But anyways, because of that, I was skeptical. I mean, I'm a really big Sonic fan. Not Sonic fan like this guy. Sonic, but a fan nonetheless. And I would like to see my favorite video game character help my favorite fictional character the same way I saw him as a kid. Like, he was a big inspiration in how I'm the person I am today. But anyways, when it was announced, I wasn't really hyped. I saw a lot of videos where people were like getting hyped on it, and they were like, "Ooh, new Sonic game, new Sonic game, awesome!" I was like, are they gonna make it good? Because last time, like I said, they gave us a new Sonic game, a new disappointment, and this time, it's held up to that saying. But yeah, it looks nice. The game looked nice, and I was a little hopeful. But as soon as Classic Sonic came in, the skepticalness increased, and pretty much it's like it was nice to see that there was an actual Sonic game that actually had a serious tone to it. Serious tone prone to like a good story up in like the adventure area. So I'm more biased to more adventure style games where you can actually have full control and go everywhere. That kind of stuff is awesome. But I mean, Unleashed still was my favorite Sonic game till this day. And for the 360 and PS4 version, PS3 version. Obviously, Wii one sucked. It was, but anyways, but my hype was dropped even further during the last part where Sonic Forces showed Classic Sonic. And instead of having Knuckles, Tails, or even Shadow, or Blaze to help them do it, they put Classic Sonic. Now, Sonic Generations, it was a good game. Gameplay-wise, it was a good game. Story-wise, horrible. It was just... It was just... I don't even know how to explain it. But if people want to hear it, I can make another video of my gripes about Sonic Generations story. Gameplay, fine. It was pretty much the boost formula to near... is it a stretch to say near perfection? We'll just say near perfection. It was pretty good. But yeah, and going on with this point, when Sega would show more trailers, and then they showed the OC. My take on the OC, it was interesting. It's an interesting concept. And I mean, the whole meme thing about how everyone creates fucking Sonic characters and whatnot, it's been a thing since Sonic was made popularized. And I mean, I feel like it's a little too late for Sonic to be making OCs and playable OCs. If they did this in like the adventure era, where Sonic was like during adventure time, like adventure stage, and like where like before the whole down lapse where Sega started making shitty Sonic games, the whole thing with the OC would have been a pretty popular idea and it would have been good. But now that Sonic's trying to like rehab himself and trying to get himself back into like what his identity, having the OC kind of ruined. I feel like where a good place to put him, like an OC thing, would be like during the whole Sonic Brotherhood stage where they made that RPG game. That would have been a good place to put him, because that one it was like Sonic was like it was like there wasn't much movement, so having the OC there would have been good. And the bosses for Forces, the hype even dropped even more. That one trailer where it shows Shadow, Zarbon, I think his name is, Metal Sonic, and Chaos. I again with that, people were getting hyped off that, but and blindly, I was like, okay, why is everyone hyped for seeing old past characters, past bosses in a new Sonic game? It's like, this isn't Generations. It shouldn't be Generations anyways, and people are getting hyped for it. And it's like, there's no good reason for them to be in there. Spoiler alert, if you haven't played the game, where were you? But there was no reason for them to be there. So it wasn't even explained well why they were there. But this video isn't talking about my disappointment. It's and the tragedy of the game. It's to actually find a solution to this tragedy. So yes, the damage has been done, but Sega, like I said, if you look at this video and try to actually like listen to other people's inputs, I mean, I feel like Sega, they try to listen too much to the fans, and that's why we get stuff like Forces and all the other bad games that's been coming out. But you know what? Amongst all the crap, there's always going to be a gem. Hopefully this is that gem that you guys can find. But let's get started. We'll put it into different points so we can like sort this thing out. First, we'll go with the gameplay. Even though the game had mixed reviews, like Shadow the Hedgehog, it's going to be a big influence on this game, because I feel like they did a really good job, story-wise and gameplay-wise. Despite how many people say that Shadow the Hedgehog was horrible, I enjoyed it. I had a really fun time. I mean, even though I wasn't playing the game, my brother was playing it, and I just played like as Sonic, or I've watched. Either way, it was still fun to watch, and sometimes when I did play it, it was still good. So, anyways, yeah, so have Sonic Forces game be like Shadow the Hedgehog. Honestly, when that game came out, I was really impressed by it because it was a refined version of Sonic Heroes. And Sonic Heroes, I feel like, was a good version of Sonic. It had great platforming, the action parts and combat was great. Introduced new enemies with health bars. And anyways, they should have it play like Shadow the Hedgehog. I feel like the health bar, I mean, in the past Sonic games where Sonic would just do a home attack and it would like destroy the enemy. It was kind of a thing like, yeah, just keep moving on, but having that health bar where you would have like multiple homing attacks and then get on, it kind of added a little bit more depth to the game, in my personal opinion. And then for something like Sonic Forces, where it's having like, you have enemies, having this health bar just feels like, it just feels right. Further into the gameplay, if they were going to continue to put the OC in, though I say they shouldn't have the OC until Sonic knows what he wants to be. And for some odd reason, no one wants Shadow to hold a gun, even though the fans wanted Sonic to have the gun. But for whatever the weapons or weapons would be, the weapons that you would use as Shadow, the vehicles can also be used by the OC. So, like, let's say, like in Shadow the Hedgehog, you would find different boxes and have like different guns and whatnot. In Sonic Forces, it would be the OC would be using the weapons, like different weapons. Let's say like laser, there'd be a gun where the weapon would be like the laser. So, in Sonic Forces, you have the OC would use weapons, and it'd be like that. But the fact that it was in like a boost formula kind of stage, it wasn't the controls weren't that great. Like let's say the whip, even when you use it, you kind of lunge forward and it kind of puts you in like some kind of linear kind of force, kind of like straight way, and it just controls were really wonky. It didn't feel good, and it was just a complete mess from there. And most of the time, the weapons weren't even that good. Like for hammer, I doubt anyone even used the hammer when they had stuff like drill was pretty much the best weapon because you can just continue keep going forward until you finish the stage like 5 seconds later. Let's see what else. For the rest of the character layout, it would be the jump, and then a jump melee, a jump special, and a special. Okay, so I'll explain. In Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow and Sonic were the only ones to have a homing attack, and that I would love that they bring that back, because honestly, Shadow and Sonic are the only ones that should have the homing attack, and that was good. What they did in Shadow the Hedgehog. Everyone else they had a jump dash, but for Sonic and Shadow they had a homing attack because that was special to them. And then for the rest of the characters, it would be either a fly or glide for like Tails, Silver, Rouge. They would fly after they pressed like the jump button twice, or for Knuckles and Omega and Vector, they would glide. So yes, Vector would use like the bubble gum like he did in Heroes. So for special action, Sonic and Shadow would on the ground would be a spin dash, and then in the air action, Sonic would use the Sonic wind attack that he did in Sonic Heroes, but forces let's increase the radius and make it a bit bigger and more powerful. And then for Shadow, he would do like a barrage of Chaos Spears. For Tails, he would use his tail attack on the ground, and like he did in Sonic Adventure. And then for his special in the air, he would drop bombs, not rings, but like bombs on the ground, and you have like a useful attack like that. And Sonic the Hedgehog for Xbox 360 and PS3, they had the somewhat right idea, but they screwed it up by making it dummy rings, because now it was all on the floor and just like someone spilled SpaghettiOs and whatnot, and you couldn't tell the difference between the actual rings and the dummy rings. So that was kind of a dumb mistake. What they should have done was just whenever he drops it, it's just bombs and it just explodes. You're good. And then for Rouge, it would be like the same thing. She would have those little heart bombs that she did in Sonic the Hedgehog. That would be her aerial special, and then on the ground it'd be kicks. As for Knuckles, it'd be punches, and then for his air special, he'd be like a little, he'd be like the drill move, and then when he hit the ground, it has like a little explosion or a big explosion. I mean, forces we gotta make it big. And then for melee attacks, like in Shadow the Hedgehog, you would use a melee attacks for some time. And in Shadow the Hedgehog, it wasn't that great, but it was like the first time they introduced it. So in this one, they refine it a bit more, kind of make it like Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom's melee, it was interesting. I mean, I've seen the videos on what Sonic Boom would have been, where they would have like melee attacks and then level up, and then they learn even better combos. But for this one, we're not heavily relying on the melee attack. So they would have like Shadow the Hedgehog, but just a little bit more refined. And then they have an aerial melee where they can combo it into like their specials. So like, let's just say you have like a robot, and then Sonic would use his melee attack and just like a punch, and a kick. And then after that kick, you can do a jump and then lead it to a homing attack and finish it that way. And it's not like really important, but it's like that kind of stuff that just you have that in the game, and then people would like appreciate that. Also for the level layout, no cheating. Okay, classic. Also get the fuck out. Classic Sonic, you're not supposed to be in this game. You have Mania. What they should do is just focus on, if they want classic Sonic, they should have focused it in Sonic Mania. Generations was like the first thing where they actually had a crossover. That was cool, but leave it in Generations. Everything else, have a Mania side, a Mania route, and then a Mania timeline, like a Mania, what do you call it? A universe for just Mania, where everything's 2D, and then you have one for modern Sonic, where everything's 3D. I mean, we're in the new era. Like, for Mario Odyssey, and yeah, sure, Mario Odyssey. It was like everything was 3D. Yeah, sure, there was some 2D sections, but that was like super, like, what, 2-3 minute, 2 minutes at best sections where it's just like you use it, it's like a little nod to it, but everything else was 3D. That's what they need to do. And then like Sonic Heroes, they should have like a speed, power, and flight areas where it would utilize the different characters' assets. So at the start of each level, you can choose like who you want to play as. So you can play. I mean, since in the story Sonic gets captured, he would be. You can't use him until you get him out. So until then, you can play as like Tails or Knuckles or your OC or Amy or whatever. But you can choose to play the game without playing with the OC. So that way, it doesn't circle around him. So what I feel like Sega dropped the ball in with the OCs. Instead of having the game be a Sonic game, I felt like it was like an OC game. It was like Aaron from Game Grumps explained it well. Though I don't want to use him because he always, no matter what, will bag on Sonic for anything. But at least for this one, he got it right. It felt like a ooh, I get to play with Sonic. It was just like really like a child's long dream to be in an adventure with Sonic. And on paper, it doesn't sound too bad, but when you play it, it's like kind of cringy, kind of like that fan-made Sonic where you're watching a video with Sonic on the chair and then you get into whatever that weird shit was. But I felt it was like that, and I didn't like that. It's like it should be optional to play as the OC. That way, it's not circling around him, circling around Sonic, because it's his game. So yeah, so you can choose between, you can play as Tails, or you can play as Knuckles, and you can play as the OC. So yeah. Also, Chao Garden. Put that back in. I don't know why they don't want to put him in. Chao Garden was one of the major things that had people continuously play Adventure 1 and 2. And considering now that we have like better internet options, it's like it's not even brain surgery. It's like, seriously, you don't want to put in a good idea like that? What's wrong with you? So let's see. For story, of course was crap from the beginning. So Eggman taking over most of the world, that part's okay. It made it better, but I'm not going to get too much into it. But have Infinite be played as, instead of, I mean, for Shadow Story it was good. Have Infinite also be playable. Like, not too much, but have like a little sections where you can see his side of the story. But story format, have it like Shadow the Hedgehog. Again, like I said, I'm going to keep on bringing it up because it was done very well. Where they have a bad ending, a neutral ending, and a true ending. Yeah, there's no good story, but just true. So the forces did wrong besides a long list of obvious shit. Their story didn't make sense. Like, they would say, like, let's destroy this factory, or let's shut down this or that, or let's save the people in the town or whatever. But the whole level is you just go through it for like 3 minutes. Those levels were super stupidly short, and then that's it. Whereas in Shadow the Hedgehog, where you would have like missions like destroy this many aliens, or destroy this many robots, or go through the city, and then that's the neutral, which was good because it made sense. Now, for my version, you would have the missions and like a time limit, like 12-15 minutes or something to have a mission. For example, destroy this many to get the true ending. And then if you want to see the neutral ending, then you just head to the straight goal, and you wouldn't have to do like the special mission. Or don't finish the level within the time limit, or you lose your lives, and then it would continue on to the bad ending. So I guess for that one, like, I've thought about it more. I guess it would be like, you would, if you fail the mission, it would happen like just continue, and that would like put it into like head towards the bad ending. And if you just keep on doing that, then it would have a certain like ending story, cutscenes and whatnot for the bad ending. So you would have the rings and the one-ups to make sure you don't lose it, but if you do, it would end and the story would continue. And then for the bad ending, it would be like you have Eggman, and then you have all the Chaos Emeralds. By the way, put the fucking emeralds in the game. do not do the DLC, but as part of this story, like Chaos Emeralds are so powerful, and you have Infinite, and it's like the only gem in Forces was that. What was it called? Whatever it's called, I forgot the name, but that red thing that's in Infinite. That was the only gem in the game. It was like, seriously? And then I guess Sonic had all the Chaos Emeralds, but he didn't want to use it. And it's like, what? It was just dumb. But anyways, yeah, have the emeralds, and Sonic have the emeralds in the game. And then Eggman has it, and he shows him flaunting it, and then Sonic is stumbling on his feet while everyone else is on the floor. And then Sonic is struggling to get up, and then Infinite uses the power of the Chaos Emerald and pisses Sonic off. That would be good for like the ending, for the bad ending. And then for neutral ending, it'd be like Eggman has like half the emeralds, and then Sonic has half the emeralds, and then it's like I don't know, Tails or Amy will like, oh, this is gonna be difficult, and then Sonic will be like, don't worry guys, he may have half the emeralds, but we're not gonna give up. And then it's like ends there, and it's like go, and then it will have like a little thing on the title that says shoot for the true ending. And then for the true ending, it would be like, I feel like they should bring Hypersonic back. Like Infinite, they should really make Infinite like a really big deal. Like for instance, like Nazo. That was even though Nazo was like an OC bad guy or whatever, it was good. I mean, they kind of made him fuse in order to beat him, but it was still good. So, I mean, not only did they have Supersonic, they had Dark Sonic, and then they had Hypersonic, and then they had Shadow. But I'm not asking for a fusion. That would be kind of weird. But, I mean, it'd be good hype, but for now, let's just try and get Hyper back in. So, they would have him transform into Supersonic, and then they would have this giant battle, and then it turns out that Supersonic's not strong enough to take down Infinite. Like, Infinite's absorbed so much power that he's too much for even Supersonic and Shadow and Super Knuckles and Tails. Have them come back too. And Silver too, he can transform. Have Blaze in the game too. I don't know why they didn't put Blaze in. I mean, since Infinite can like strand like different dimensions or whatnot, or like having his power wasn't really explained, but have him like not destroy, but like disrupt different dimensions, and then that would bring Blaze in, because there's a lot of Blaze fans. I mean, Blaze is my second favorite character, third favorite character, and seeing her come back for a good reason would be great. Generations, it wasn't a good enough reason, but having her come back for like a serious story, a good gameplay, a good game would be awesome. But yeah, so they would transform to Supersonic, or their super forms. They would try to attack Infinite. It didn't work. And then Knuckles, since he's pretty much the gem dude, he would be like, there is a way that we can defeat him. Find a way to power him up and get the Super Emeralds. Then you have even more levels of them finding some kind of source, some kind of power source, and then after that, like, you can play as different characters. And it'll have the same effect, but you can just play as different characters because you want to play as your favorite character. Oh yeah, so they would go and find different. You go through different levels, and then they would find like different energy sources, and then it would continue on with the story where they would power up the Chaos Emeralds and turn it into Super Emeralds, and then they would transform into their Hyper forms. And then you can introduce Hyper Shadow, Hyper Blaze. There's already Hyper Knuckles, and then no, actually, never mind. Tails can only become Super Tails with the Hyper Emeralds. Okay, so actually, you know what? Have as a thing to show growth for Tails, because they did a shitty job in Forces. Have him be Super Tails and then Hyper Tails with Super Emeralds, because I mean, Tails has been, though he hasn't really been fighting much, so I guess it wouldn't really make that much sense, but I mean, just to show that he's gotten a bit stronger it'd be a nod to like Tails fans. I don't really care that much for Tails, but for people that do care about Tails, it'd be nice to see their person like, oh, I'm gotten a bit better, so it's like, there's that. But anyways, then they have that, and then they have like Infinite becomes like a new form of Infinite. an edgier form. I mean, I don't really care about the edge, but I mean, have it be more powerful and whatnot. And then it comes this final battle. You can, and then it has you, and then it brings you to like a character selection where you can choose which character you want to be. And then you, like, if I choose Sonic, and then everyone else would be like a AI, and they'd just be attacking them on their own and whatnot. And I mean, that kind of thing would be super cool. And then afterwards, you beat them, and then everything becomes good again, and then yeah, you're good. So for that, that's what they should have done for story-wise. What else? Like different gripes. Why not? Just that. I feel like with a story like that, they had like how many years? They had 4 to 5 years working on this game, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like they scrambled last minute. Like I read up that they spent most of the time trying to get the Hedgehog Engine 2 up, and that's why it took so long. And that's honestly really dumb. It's like they should have had the story fleshed out, what they wanted to do for cutscenes. There was no cutscenes. There was cutscenes, but it wasn't good. Like the meat of it, where they would talk to each other and whatnot, it was just in a little bubble, and then they just have the characters move their mouths, and then that's it. Which was bullshit. It's like, are you serious? This is most of the story? Like, honestly, when I first got the game, day 1, I beat it. 2 hours. A Sonic game should not be that short. Like, honestly, in the adventure mode, if I was playing Adventure 1 or 2 is a bit shorter. You can beat that one in a day. But it still felt fleshed out. Adventure 1, take 2 days tops. But it's still longer than Forces. And it's, even though it gets a lot of shit, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, still a good game. People say, yeah, I mean, obviously it has its glitches and it's not finished models and whatnot. But all in all, that game was, if I had a choice between Forces, Generations, Colors, and 06, I would choose 06 because that game was just like it was at 1, adventure style, 2, the story was pretty serious, and I think it was a good game. But yeah. Oh, what else? Let's see. The story there, it would have that and have its serious tone. Gameplay wise, it wouldn't be like that whole linear thing. You can choose which way you want to go. It'd be like there's a speed route. You go there, and if I choose Sonic, and then let's see, it would be like you can choose your character, and then it's someone to support you. So like in Sonic Forces, you would have the OC, and then Sonic would be with you for some odd reason, and you can switch on between them. I like that idea in a way, and then they just didn't do it right. And then they had that whole boost thing, which was pretty dumb, but whatever. But yeah, also with I'm just getting off track a little bit, but I didn't like how the OC was just as fast as Sonic. I mean, granted, Sonic had the boost, but I mean, without boosting, the OC was just as fast as Sonic, which was dumb. It's like Sonic is known for his speed. Why is the OC going just as fast? And then, I don't know, the whole thing about teamwork. I mean, Sonic's done it before about working together and whatnot, but this one was just like PBS Kids, if we work together, we can do anything kind of bullshit, and they kept on saying it. I don't know, it was just too much. Way too much. God. The music, though, if I'm going to give Sonic Forces any praise, the music, godlike. Which makes it even more frustrating because you had such a shitty game, but you had the music was godlike. Which, I hope... I mean, I feel like Sonic's going to make it back in Smash. But if they put a Sonic Forces... please put a buttload of Sonic Forces music in there, because that was hype as shit. Like, oh man, I love the music. The music is so good. The theme song... Fist Bump, when Nate and Mad Pony sing it, it's good. When the original people, It's. I mean, it's okay, but Nate and Mad Pony, they nailed it. It was perfect. I shouts to them. If you haven't checked it out, go on Nate Wants to Battle Sonic Fist Bump. That they made it great. It was a good song. Infinite's theme was good too. Oh, speaking of, bring back character theme songs. It was so good. Like for a song they had, Doesn't Matter, Tails, I Wanna Fly. Like bring that stuff. Like it also fleshed out the characters. They don't do that anymore. Like Sonic doesn't have his. He hasn't had his theme since 06. I think 06 was the last one where they actually had like different theme songs. And it's been a while. Bring back their theme songs. Like make new songs for them and just like flesh out their characters more. I feel like well, back when I was a kid and I was just listening to the songs, it's like you listen to the songs and you see the character. It's like, okay, I can resonate with him. I can see what he's all about a little bit, and it just made them feel better characters. Like you can. You can relate to them as well, but it was like you can see them in a different way. So, I mean, bring that back. That's a way that they could have made Sonic Forces good. But yeah, shit, what else? We already discussed level design, and we didn't really finish it up. So for level design, like I said, there'd be like in Sonic Heroes, where if there's a section like a pole thing where you use speed and then you go it up. And then you can like switch between the characters, and then if there's a fly portion, I'm playing like a Sonic and Tails, and then I can switch to Tails, and then Tails would go on to the fly portion, and then you continue on that route. Like have it that way where it's like adventure, but you can still choose where you want to go. But yeah, that kind of stuff was great. Also, put more CGI cutscenes. Like I said, in Forces there was no CG like those CGI cutscenes like Unleashed, where they would have the really good rendered cutscenes. The only CG cutscenes that were was the trailers. That also made that it dulled the game even more. Like there's so much stuff that was bad with Sonic Forces. For it to have taken 4 years to make, this was definitely a major letdown. I already put in what I said, what they could have done with Sonic Forces to make it good. I can't really think of anything else. Story-wise, I already gave the story for that. Gameplay-wise, whatnot, they have that. More playable characters, have that. Child Garden, do that. Oh, I guess one thing for Child Garden, have more character-specific chows available. In Adventure Mode and Adventure 2, you had a Sonic Chow and Shadow Chow, but you can get Tails Chow if you did like Fantasy Online and trade that in or something like that. I don't know, but just have it easier. If you go in as a specific character and then you tend to that Chow, it would start looking more like that, and you can get like a Knuckles Chow, Amy Chow, or whatever. That would be cool. And then for like Omega Chow, you like find robot parts and you can have a little Omega Chow. That'd be so cool. And then like you can have more like Chow Karate, Chow Racing, Chow Plane Fighter, or something like Chow Kart. That would be cool too. And then maybe I don't know. We're pretty much advanced enough that you can have you can send your child to like an app on your phone or whatever. Like make the game relevant. There's so much ideas that they could have done, but they dropped it so hard, and then they kicked it afterwards. It's so bad, so bad. It's just really bring humans back too. I feel like having it just animals, it doesn't bring a level of urgency or oh wow, shit's getting real. Like for example, Sonic Adventure 1. Sonic was there and then there was a bunch of humans. People say, don't have humans in there. But I feel like having the humans in there makes the Sonic characters stand out. And they make them more important, more powerful. And that kind of thing is the humans can't do anything, but the Sonic characters can. That's why this thing is important. And that's what made like Chaos feel so powerful. It was like you had Chaos, but it was a bunch of squirrels and whatnot, and all jumping around and be like, yeah, this looks like a bad situation, but does it really matter that much? But seeing humans there, I was like, oh shit, the city is getting flooded. Like this kind of shit. I mean, it couldn't happen in real life because there's no chaos. But I mean, just seeing the flood and seeing how people react to it, it hits you harder than it seeing like a bunch of animals running around screaming. It's like, yeah, you can relate to it. And then again, it was Adventure 2 where they are blowing up the world and whatnot. And then you see the humans, and it's like, oh shit, shit's going down. Shadow the Hedgehog, same thing. Sonic Unleashed, I feel like Unleashed perfected it. They made the humans more cartoony. So even though the humans were cartoony, they were still humans. And it still had the Sonic and everyone else stand out. Because, yeah. So bring the humans back in. I mean, having a game where it's just like the Mobians, it was, no, just take them out. It didn't work. It was just so bad. Because they had to reuse the models and whatnot. I mean, they were really lazy. But yeah, have it like Unleashed, where they had humans and they were just characterized and cartoony and whatnot. And that was good. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And they made it worse. So there's that. What else? Let's see. Humans with the story, gameplay. That's about it. That's pretty much it. Like, pretty much if they do all that, I'm not trying to make this video pretty long, but if they just did all that, the game would be pretty good. And it would be replayable with Chow Garden and whatnot. And with adventure mode, you can take longer than a fucking 2 hours to beat. And it'd be a game that people can actually have pride in. But, I mean, they can take this kind of advice or they can leave it, like they probably will. And we'll just have to wait and see what they do with the next Sonic game. I mean, so far they have the whole letter of, we're going to change Sonic and we're going to make him better, like how he used to be. But so far with this, I doubt they're just going to repeat what they did again. And I don't know. If anything, ask help for Nintendo and have that Sonic and Mario crossover that fans have been asking for since ever. And screw the fucking, whatchamacallit, Olympic games. No one wants to play Sonic in the Olympics. If they want a crossover, have Sonic come in with like the sports games. Sonic and Mario and Sonic Tennis, Aces, what's the new one for Switch? Have Sonic come in with that, and have a Sonic Mario Strikers, and then hell, Sonic Mario Kart, Sonic Mario Golf. Have them come in through that. That would be so much better. That would bring in so much more fans. That's all I'm just saying. But yeah, I guess that's about it. That's my opinion and how they can fix the game. If you don't think so, that's my opinion. So if you don't agree with it, hey, put it in the comments and have whatever your opinion, what they should do with the game. If you enjoyed the game, put that in the comments too. Let's have a conversation. But that's it for Get Blitzed, and I'll see you guys next time. So yeah, see ya. You've just been blitzed.